Yeah, we're gonna have our next presenter, and can you raise hands who use Jira in their work? You just raise your hands, like everybody, like almost everybody, okay? And raise your hands who loves Jira. Love Jira, yeah. Okay, this is Agile coaches. I see them. Any other? You're Agile coach too? Yeah. What's your role in the company? Principal engineer. Just one engineer loves Jira and some Agile coaches here. Why these Agile coaches love Jira? Because they work in Exness. And Exness has Gonchik. this is yeah, and he's a Jira super guru. He knows everything about Jira, and he's gonna share some tricks how to make your Jira less painful. Can I say that? Or more enjoyable? Or you need to turn it on?
Oops, yes. Let's see. A few seconds. Looks like my last presentation was a little bit broken. It's repairing. And regarding the enjoyable, you will understand in my presentation what's going on related to the Jira in our stuff, especially in product management, project management, and portfolio management.
So thank you very much. Let's next presenter, Gonchik. Yes,
thank you. So meanwhile, is opening the presentation, and let me ask a few questions. Who is the Jira user here? Please raise your hands. Oh. So I see a few guys is not using the Jira. No worries. You will start to use. I will help you with that. And the next one I see is a product management, mostly related to ProductCamp at the conference. Do we have here the product managers? Please raise your hands. Okay, who is the person who is not raised the hand? Project manager, or you're comparing, or executors and someone else? Anyway, today I would like to share with you my thoughts related to Jira investigation in product management. So, every time, once I start to join to work with some company, what I do? Show me your Jira. I will say what I can do with your processes and our stuff. Here we go. Oh. Yeah. So let me introduce myself. My name is Gonchik. I think so it's not needful because I'm more than 10 years in the fintech industry, software development, more than 10 years I'm playing with Jira and other stuff. I like to be in the Atlassian community. I like that two guys helped me to find out that more the interesting use cases because they are founder of the Atlassian. Okay. The next slide, for me, it's mainly useful in my presentation because it will be related to a disclaimer. Anywhere, no one shouldn't be trust to me. Never trust me, please. Any decision should be made by yourself, especially with professionals, if it's needed. Because my presentation will be mostly related to expectation management. Who is starting to feel what is with the expectation management in product management, project management? Please raise your hands or say something. Expectation management. For example, with stakeholders. Okay, let me do myself. Today, I'm on the conference. To be honestly, today I failed up one project for today. With me, I met with deadline. Deadline is tomorrow. I see I have the problem with on the next week, but I will describe to him what I need to do the next step, because I had the problem with transparency. Because in my presentation you will understand mostly about what problems, blockers, and risk do we currently have. This is the big problem. Are you feeling in your work something like that? Transparency issues, yeah. Some blockers with developers. Always, wow, I found my colleague. Thank you. By the way, what's your name? Huh?
Tatev.
Tatev. I hope you met with predictability. The problem is when we need to deliver the feature. The previous speaker just said we changed organization, the structure, and our stuff. I hope everyone read one useful book in the world. Mythical month in the world. Who read about the books? 1975 years, the book, with just saying, if you change somewhere in the middle of your project and product, if changes will be fail. This is the main thing, no worries. Because the previous speaker said about accountability. It's really the problem. Do we really feature fast than the previous one? Do we improve our speed up? Who had that problem? Mr. Speaker, previous one. Do we have?
No, of course.
Okay, understood. I have. To be honest, I have. Because I support lean software development. No worries. In lean software development, we need to fail fast and speed up our delivery. Because our world is a little bit complicated. Let's deep into the theory. Because each changes should not be go forward without theory, fundamental theory. One of the problem with expectation management is every time the users thinks looks into the Jira from own view, like this. It's not showing. Okay. We have the tone of the tickets. In reality, we can manage all our work items in the tickets. Everything's okay. Jira helps us to make some organization, splitting everything. This is the one few things and how it thinks the users. I remember someone raised the hands using the Jira. Is that true for you? Please raise your hand if it's true. Oh, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, great. I'm happy, to be honest. Well, sometimes I do managing the Jira as a platform, as an ecosystem of the Atlassian. For me, Jira is a brain fuck, to be honest. The big problem to me, because it's a huge amount of the configurations. And sometimes I do mistake. And as a result, end of the users cannot just organize the tickets. Easy, stupid steps. But from business process overview, Jira is just step of the workflows, the process of the product development, the process of the software development, process of the earning money, investment, and any other processes. You can easily put the items and understanding. But if you look down, in generally, each process is quite simple. Opening, starting, investigating, and then delivering to the next department if it's needed, if it's related to that one, or finalizing. What's one of the things? Jobs to be done. That's easy. Okay. I said, show me the Jira. Is this real data from a real company? I hope you can understand from which company, but for me it doesn't matter. Do you understand what's going on there on the control chart from that Atlassian report? Yes? What exactly? What's the problem? Yes? Outliers, that's right. You have a lot of outliers. What does it mean?
Yes, thank you. It means that that tasks under this blue area is waiting too long to be done.
In shortly, it's unpredictable assignees, unpredictable developers, unpredictable quality engineers, unpredictable product manager, unpredictable everything. Yes, it's also outliers, so it's very good. But what exactly did you understand? Okay, you have the problem. Yes, you have the unpredictable things, but In our world, everything's unpredictable, impossible to be predictable and everywhere. But for me, that graph shown in the cumulative diagram, let's look into that. What do you see here? That color is a done, to be clear. And our things is too small for you. It means, looks like for the team, everything is same. It's not big problem. I see some here, the small changes. It means, for example, this one, the orange one, they started to change the work and playing with statuses, because if you look, they have a lot of the statuses, and honestly, they used in reality 2 or 3 statuses. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From 8, in reality, they use only 3. It's real world. You expect you will do a lot of the statuses that will be changed, but in reality, nothing. Again, jobs to be done. That's it. And I hope a lot of product manager likes that distribution, lead time distribution. Who knows what is this? Who is using? Please raise your hand. Aha, here the data scientists. Aha, understood. Data-driven product managers here. Here the practical guys. Here the more portfolio managers, let's say. For me, it means we can easily to understand our outliers. Do you remember? We can cut off. And we can every time just saying, when will be the features done? In which duration? Based on that data, in 80% of the problems, I can just say, based on the statistics, I will say, I think so with 80%, we can fix that feature in that situation. But maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's deep dive. My favorite movie, because Rick and Morty, each time just showing that world is colorful, very interesting. It means everything should be very complicated to measure, especially in Jira, if you didn't do some specific steps. I will show you some mistakes, typical mistakes maybe somewhere. For someone it will be useful. The following slides. Let's go to the practical examples. Example number 1, related to the data. No worries, I will show you different slides related to a lot of the pictures, but you need to think by your brain. Do you see problem there? This is the chart, built-in functionality of the Jira, showing created and versus resolved. Do you see some problem? This is related to real company, real data, everything. Do you see the problem? In statistic was 20,000 tickets. What was the dev? Who said? But in reality, speed up the same, no worry. But you know what's going on here? Everything is okay. Nothing else. It's not showing something to me. Stop to imagine it's on the coffee or taro or something like that. But for me, it's nothing. Everything is good. But let me change the configuration of the chart into the periods from the cumulative trend change into the countable. With same data, with same company, with same Jira, everything is same. What do you see here? I especially marked the red lines. Any problem do you see here now? The same data. Good job. Looks like you understand what's going on there. Yeah, looks like each 7, 8 months, someone starting to work. Or showing the work, maybe. I don't know. But one thing I see, it's parallel. Period. The big problem, let's change a look into the trend. Is this related to a business? Let me check. Based on the trend, if you look, no big problem. Everything expectful, and of course, the same with the zooming, you can see exactly we have the problem related to the, like something on the period management. Huh? Yeah, you're right. Because it is milestone-driven development. One guy said it's quarter-driven development. Maybe for someone it's going to be the big Scrum related to a sprint-related driven development. But one of the big things, each status is changing the before end of the due date. That's it. In a bulk. It means we can see here the answer for our questions. Each task drag through to the workflow in the last day in the bulk. If you look into the data, you can come here. I will show you, if it's needed, how one day many teams closing the ticket in a bulk. It's not only for the planning-related projects, nothing. It's everywhere, the same thing. Let's go to the next item. It will be related to the example of the definition. It is, again, the real project, real configuration, that team using the different work items, different type of the work items, bug, epic, service request, story, subtask, task. Do you use the same way? Interesting. Someone just saying, yeah. Okay. Let's look to another project. They have the bug, epic, request, some, looks like the same, only service request and request, just naming. Okay, maybe in the future it's possible to merge it or something like that. But how about to look into the pie chart? Simple, built-in functionality. And let's look into the distribution of the issue types, work item types. I remember some of the guys not using the Jira, but I will say you will start to. And if you look, let's look to the second project. Do you see some differentiation with naming on something like that? Any problem? Any replacement of definition? Wow. Guys from the first place, everything knows. Because it's a just naming convention issue. Request here, story is here. What does it mean? Mostly, those story, it's an external request, mostly be like a user story, customer story, something like that. But for our team, it's a just request. Then, if some of the, for example, me, if I will raise the ticket in one of the project, I need to choose the story and there the request. It's headache. Do you agree with me? Therefore, please provide a clear definition. Clear definition as a clear expectation, because otherwise it's going to be the problem. Because most of the teams, we have the same issue types, ticket types, work item types, but all of them the different and differently using and different expectation of the time frame and duration process. But it's going to be the problem for the measuring. It's the next item. Are you ready to go forward? Good. The next example related to keeping information up to date. Again, real Jira, real data, real projects. I just put the resolution is empty. It means please show me not closed tickets. One interesting item, 32,000 open tickets. Don't check it. Okay, let's imagine that company, let's say 5,000, maybe 1,000 employees, and we can divide it for each employee. Looks like something like that. But if we look into that, if this is related, to be honestly, four teams. 4 teams has a backlog more than 32,000. I think there's something the problem. It's up to you to make some decision. I will keep as is. Because I'm just finalizing the report, just saying, please review it because we have somewhere the problems, especially to handling. The next one, as you understand, each ticket can be die on the way and is not transferred as obsolete because do you remember in Agile, especially in the Scrum, they had the process backlog grooming. I think so. Scrum guide and especially Agile guys do absolutely great things. Backlog grooming, needful. So next example, related to how about too many open tickets? I just go forward and ask, again, real system, real example. I just ask what we need to do with tickets. They answered me, Gonchik, after the confirmation with some person, please create all tickets before 1st of February, close it. They don't need it. This is the real world. It means they said new tasks are created as a duplicate. It means they are just using the Jira as a write only, but not investigating duplicates. I think so this is the big issue. But up to you to make the decision. The next example about movements. Again, real Jira, real things. I think so it's not readable for you, for me also. Raise a ticket. If it's needed for the transparency changes, I wrote. Then customer answered, I created the service desk request, and then I found that ticket was moved, and I need to go, and please, after the testing, you split a lot of items. But one of the big problem, the resolution of that, they said, I don't see any outcome. You're doing something, but for me, as an end of the user, nothing was changed. This is the big problem. It means next item. Task type reworked and then moved. Moving is not good practice. Maybe linking, sometimes a good things. I would say I would support that our agile coach in that idea because they made the good things. As I see, I made the experiment. It works well. Maybe the last example, I think so, related to the example of the relations. Come again, Rick and Morty, I will say only real task, which is related to the deadlock. Everyone to understand what is this deadlock? Nice. I create the Jira ticket, I need to do something, and I need to support from the infrastructure team. Infrastructure team need to buy in the procurement. Procurement need to get the budgeting in the finance. Finance need to go to project management, to planning, and planning to go to need to investigate it from the infrastructure team. It's a circle, and then it's going to be the deadlock. Well, to be honest, I just said a real example in real Jira, but I don't want to show that because after my calculation, if they understand it's going to be the deadlock, they can deduct 8 months of the work. This is the big issue. Up to you, make decision by yourself. But if you look into that picture, this is the real picture related from Java, Maven, especially in the Atlassian Jira components. It is dependency of the hell. This is the real software development problem. Don't worry, in real world, in software development world, absolutely the same thing. Dependency hell is everywhere. Based on that, I would like to say one of the item, dependency hell, and deadlocks. Yet another example related to the implementation. Do you remember? We can prepare different statuses and other stuff. But Jira administrators can make a lot of things, a lot of the changes, a lot of the transitions. This is the button to change the status. Quite complicated. But all of them will go to the simple one. Do you agree with me? If you are not agree, please raise your hands. No one. I thought I will do some discussion after my speech, especially during the lunchtime, because I want to go to lunch as soon as possible with someone. Suddenly, nope. Okay. If we go there, it's easy to simplifying. And then, with the big things, technical problem with implementation. Sometimes, please double check implementation, and it should be simply as possible because end user, developers, they are human, prefer to be everything should be simple, easy, and go forward. Then you need to measure. Not firstly prepare everything for the measure. You need to measure what you have. And based on that, you can look into the trends or real data. Up to you. Once again, we have the next items. Task drag through the workflow in last day. Do you remember? Convulsion. Each quarter we have the convulsion. Different teams, the same issue test. Problem with the definition, clear definition in the live. The next one, tickets need to be groomed. Backlog grooming, for example. The next one, new task need to be, before creating the new task, you need to find and investigate existing backlog with these needful things. And the next one, before creating a lot of things, moving, you need to communicate with your end of the customer, which will be much helpful. And don't forget about the dependencies, especially the linking and creating the structure boards and structure Gantt and our stuff. And next one, it's mostly related to the Jira admins. Don't be under stress. Don't be shy. Just say, we have the problem. We can have, please, can we make some negotiation to make some simplification? That's it. Thank you. Some questions?
Thank you, Gonchik. Now you've seen Gonchik. Yes, and you've seen him once. We see him every day. This is another reason to join Exness, by the way. And yeah, if you guys have questions, yeah. Can you just hand off microphone there? Okay, I will. Yeah, probably can do it myself.
Hello. My question is related to the many states that the workflow has. Maybe you've shown this in one of your slides. Yeah, maybe this one or the original one with the business. Yes. Yes. So that one, yeah. So as opposed to taking a practical approach, because most companies are like that, okay? And most companies are like that because managers want to have some kind of a, well, at least a false idea that they're tracking the states. But that aside, if we take the assumption that the human will not change, that developers will essentially do the thing last moment, isn't it preferable to have multiple states so at least you can track and you can analyze later on to make a small change or make a big change? I mean, more states is on the grand scale of things is more data, and personally I use that data to think of a change, maybe on the technical side, but whatever. So I don't see what is the benefit of less states if the company already agrees to it.
Thank you for the great question, because I will start from my second slide. Opa. You need to speak with the professionals, because in your situation you said one thing. If employees accepted that big, huge workflow and they are keeping up to date, it means it's good. If it's work, no worry, don't touch it. And let's investigate it and how we need to simplify it. In that way, will be helpful. But if you go to some startup or small company, and then you will do the big things, they said, what are you doing? We prefer to do everything in the stickers and easy peasy and lemon squeezy, and that's it, close it. And therefore, you need to be sure where are you. and how processes in the companies works. But for example, good things related to the startups will not work for big enterprise systems. But the next one, you ask the previously, you don't see any benefits. Under benefits, it means you will clear understanding. For example, you have the dedicated project or dedicated issue types, and then you will see hierarchy. Sometimes you need to have some hierarchy. Of course, one biggest things, you don't need to have a huge hierarchy. It needs to be as simple as possible. Therefore, I prefer to start everything step by step in evolution. And also developers like to say iteration. Iteration by iteration, you will add additional status. Understanding will be helpful or not helpful, and measuring, and then as a result, you will have the things. Again, my answer related to things, need to look into your data and then discussing your process, and after that I can say the correct answer. This is my answer. Is it acceptable for you?
Maybe I would. I accept the answer.
Thank you.
It's okay, but I wouldn't even try to simplify it. If it evolves to be a huge, complicated monster because it suits 50 people, it's easier to accept it rather than try to change 50 people. That's my view. And if Jira tells the story, so be it. Just collect the data. It's more work for me to do advanced queries to understand that one state is equal to another in reality. But yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
One question for you. What title of your job? What are you doing?
I'm a principal engineer. I try to drive the technical, like the product reflecting to
technical things you're trying to do. And you know how the developers, they think mostly they should be simplified. They want to work with the Git mostly and sending the comments, and this is the world. But you need to simplify to them. They're using for example, automatic changing the status triggers.
Yes.
That's why it will be helpful for you and deducting. But you need to also negotiate the business. Business wants to every time that we want to clear everything of you, and each weekly needs updating and showing something, and quarterly basis provide some report of the whole project. But one of the things, for what company has been created? As I remember, it's earning money. If it's coming the money in the features, and if you see the results, it's not a big problem.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
yeah.
More questions, guys? You have a chance to ask anything about Jira, for example. Any questions? My questions actually, my last question to you would be, as a product manager, I want to manage my backlog on a higher level than just tasking Jira for my teams. For example, have few teams, more than just one, and then to manage on that level. Any Jira ideas how to do it properly, proper way, you a person who knows Jira better than others would suggest do's and don'ts, I would say, on a high level, portfolio level management for Jira.
How to make the portfolio management?
Yeah.
You're asking. So this is the very tricky question. I would say the speculation. Sometimes you need to understand where exactly do you have, what type of the projects do you have, and then you need to aggregate into, for example, in Jira, in toolset, it's built-in functionality for now, it's advanced roadmaps. But if you planning to implement the advanced roadmap, you have to think about the hierarchy, and you have to think about all processes, and after that, on the toolset, you can see the result. Before, only one way you can see the providing and generating the report and understanding how to improving and step by step. And also, it's possible to use for now I will provide some solutions. For example, big picture and other stuff. You can Google it and found it, and it's very easy to use it. And don't forget about MS project. This is the very grateful solution. Once again, if company feeling better and fixing all, delivering the projects and portfolio management working well, I think it's not needed to change inefficiently and quite frequently. This is my answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for Gonchik. Thank you very much.